Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to React TCG. It's episode 15, so we got, a bit of a milestone going on again. Last couple times, didn't really have to think about it, Episode 5, we got Goku vs. Superman Round 1. Episode 10, we got Goku vs. Superman Round 2. But this time around, we didn't have a Goku vs. Superman. We didn't really have one that was, as far as I know, was, get one that I don't know got people riled up. It was like a 50-50 split. People get really defensive over some of them. We didn't really have one of those this time around. So I looked through the five death battles that I was going to be reacting to for this episode, and I decided. I looked through them and I just, decided to figure out which one would be like a headliner. What would be the opening act, and what would be the thing people would want to see most. So, for me, it felt like, we've got some that are just people. We got one that's just a couple of get people. There's one that's kind of a joke one. Feels like, we got a superhero or a supervillain fight. We got an anime hero fight. But I think the one that worked best was the one I put at the end. So stick around for that. But that being said, we do have some good fights this time around. Some fights with some good competitors. Like this first one. Lara Croft versus Nathan Drake. Now, sometimes, you've watched these before. Sometimes I gotta think about who I pick for these battles. This is not one of those times. Nathan Drake, all the way. I love the Uncharted games. They are freaking some of my favorite games that I've played. Especially when it comes to shooter type games. So yeah, I'm definitely voting Nathan Drake for this one. Not that Lara Croft isn't great, but I'm hoping my boy can win this. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Let's get right into this one.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Go90, the free digital entertainment service featuring TV shows, original series, esports, concerts, live sports, and behind-the-scenes access to some of your favorite musical artists. Watch Go90 free on your phone, tablet, laptop, or cast to your TV. Visit go90.com or download the app on your iOS or Android device today, and be sure to check out Rooster Teeth's new original series, What Do You Know?, exclusively on Go90. Sometimes an archaeologist needs a bit more than a shovel and brush, especially when they're on the hunt for the most legendary of treasure.
Yeah, if it were that easy, everyone would be doing it. The best treasure hunters are the ones with the brawn to match their brain.
Like Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider.
And Nathan Drake, seeker of the Uncharted. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Most people spend their entire lives in pursuit of wealth, status, and power. But Lara Croft was lucky enough to be born into them. However, despite
5'8", 131.6 pounds. Birthday is February 14th. English archaeologist, Countess of Abington. Credited with 16 plus archaeological discoveries, and her greatest fear is her aunt's pet corgi. That is adorable.
Despite attending the best schools and living in her own mansion, she was missing one crucial thing: adventure.
Man, rich people are always looking for some crazy way to help keep themselves entertained. But if you have a lot of money and you take a lot of trips, it's good odds that one of those trips is bound to go horribly wrong.
And guess what? It did!
Before she was even old enough to order a drink, a crash landing left her stranded in desolation. She had to learn for herself how to adapt and survive for over a week before returning to civilization as a whole new lady.
In whatever Tomb Raider timeline you're looking at, whether it's on an island or the Himalayas, Lara's destined to this life-changing fate.
I'm never getting on a plane with her.
Surprisingly, Lara's experience left her far from traumatized. Instead, she was inspired, hooked by the thrill of perilous adventure. So she struck out on her own, seeking lost treasure across the globe to make a name for herself.
But Lara's no fool, so first she made sure she'd be ready for anything. She tracked down the best teachers she could find to learn her the ways of stealth, survival, and martial arts.
She became proficient in numerous types of firearms, and her martial art of choice appears very reminiscent to kickboxing. She can even fight while blindfolded.
So she's basically Batman, who treasure hunts with guns. Speaking of which, Lara is famous for her trade.
Dual pistols, Heckler and Coach USP Match Point 45, Glock 17, assault rifles, submachine guns, dual Ingram Mac 10 Uzis, combat shotgun, competition bow, climbing axe, and grappling hook.
Mark dual Heckler and Koch pistols. And I'm not talking about the things under her sweater, but she's also skilled with shotguns, assault rifles, submachine guns, even grenades. And she uses them to take down everything from armed thugs to T-Rexes.
Lara is also skilled with a competition compound bow, perfect for stealth kills.
And she's got enough trick arrows to make Green Arrow proud. She's got fire arrows, poison arrows, explosive tipped arrows, and even rope arrows for crossing gaps or grappling things. And while her climbing axe is supposed to be used for scaling up cliffs, you can imagine what the thing does to a human skull. Oh wait, you don't have to. Watch.
Oh god.
Lovely.
Gruesome murder aside, Lara's extensive training paid off in big ways. She's discovered the legendary blade
Hold on, was there a Lara Croft cartoon? What the fuck was that? Survived multiple plane crashes, killed a T-Rex, velociraptors, and a dragon. Goddamn. Infiltrated and escaped Area 51. Pushed blocks of the Great Pyramid, survived a 250-foot dive into a river, twice battled an Egyptian god, and defeated the god queen of Atlantis. Nate's gonna lose, isn't he? He's gonna fucking lose. I'm not changing my vote. I want him to win. I'm sticking with it, but it's not looking good.
Excalibur, the Philosopher's Stone, the Ark of the Covenant, Thor's hammer Mjolnir, and even Bigfoot, whom she also promptly killed.
Suck it, Sasquatch. She survived dinosaurs, the Kraken, a Chinese dragon, and she even found the long-lost Led Zeppelin song Stairway to Heaven.
What? No. She found a literal stairway to heaven.
Really?
Shit?
Holy shit!
For a 132-pound woman, she's surprisingly strong. She's held up a heavy gate for 36 straight seconds while drowning. She also regularly pushes around enormous boulders, like the giant blocks in the Pyramid of Giza. This makes her easily strong enough to, say, punch a man through a wooden beam.
Lara's also a crack shot. She can precisely tag multiple targets in less than a second, even if they're button-sized bolts or kunai flying through the air.
She's skilled enough to infiltrate and escape Area 51. She's tenacious enough to take a bullet in the heat of battle and keep fighting. And she's tough enough to dive off a 250-foot cliff into water with no injury whatsoever. The highest documented dive ever recorded is 193 feet. But unlike Lara, this driver underwent weeks of preparation and still broke his collarbone.
Hell, this girl can survive almost anything. When she was younger, she got impaled by a rusty metal spike and was still able to complete an entire adventure while in constant pain.
She wasn't even able to properly treat it. She had to cauterize it with a burning arrow tip.
Damn, that's hardcore. I think I found my next ex-wife. And then there was that one time she threw her climbing axe at a helicopter and it just exploded.
Yeah, the only logical explanation being she threw the axe into the chopper's air intake, shredded its internals, which caused a spark that reached its gas tank.
She made the helicopter explode with nothing but an axe. That girl's got one hell of an arm.
I think we can all agree Lara is a badass, but she thinks so too, and can get a bit reckless.
If she gets too full of it, she could always find herself at the wrong end of a tree branch, crushed by boulders, mauled by wolves, shot in the head, stabbed through the face, all sorts of horrific fatal mistakes.
Even knowing that, the risk doesn't keep her from any of her bewildering adventures.
Don't you think you've seen enough?
No. Ow.
Sic Parvis Magna. To most people, these words hold little meaning, but for globetrotting explorer Nathan Drake, it's his life motto.
Damn
Greatness
right.
from small beginnings.
And beginnings don't get much smaller than his.
Born in 1975, 5'11", on his own by the age of 15, largely self-taught, encyclopedic knowledge of history, a master of the half-tuck shirt, hates clowns, and bridges love to collapse beneath him. Not like, they love to collapse beneath him.
Little Nate spent half his childhood in a boys' home, where he was raised by nuns, picked on by bullies, and pretty much just hated on for every second of his life.
Nathan found solace in his fascination with history, particularly the explorer who found El Dorado, Sir Francis Drake. And like his idol, Nathan dreamed of one day escaping the orphanage to go on treasure hunts of his own.
And he did, with his big brother Sam. The treasure? Their dead mom's old journals about Mr. Drake himself. Turns out they were in some old lady's house, so they broke in, she called the cops, and then immediately died of a heart attack.
Obviously not wanting to be caught trespassing and standing over a dead woman when the police arrived, Nathan began a life on the run.
Talk about shitty luck. Man, all he wanted was a book.
Fortunately, Nathan seemed born for the treasure hunter's life. He's exceptionally athletic, has encyclopedic historical knowledge, and can find a way out of almost any bad situation with his quick wit.
He'd make sure that everyone would remember the name Nathan Drake.
Yeah, but he does have to get luck.
After several solo adventures, Nathan eventually teamed up with Victor Sullivan, a former Navy officer turned expert con artist. Sully taught Nathan the ways of combat, both with his fists and with firearms.
Good thing, too, because it seems like everybody out there wants to take a shot at Nate. He almost always has a 45 defense.
Pistols, 45 Defender, Desert 5, assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, Dragon Sniper and T-Bolt Sniper, MK, NDI grenades, and of course, a grappling hook. Because what adventurer doesn't carry a grappling hook? I mean, that's just, that's like adventuring 101, my guy.
Or 9mm pistol on hand, as well as a couple grenades. Nate can rack up the body count with just about any weapon he touches, including machine guns, shotguns, grenade launchers, and sniper rifles. Hey, when there's a literal army of bad guys out to kill you, you gotta become a one-man army yourself.
Ready for anything, Nathan set out to follow in his idol's footsteps, and then some. He's discovered 5 lost civilizations.
Found 5 lost civilizations, jumped 19 feet without a running start, survived a train wreck with a bullet wound, survived many 25-plus foot falls, defeated a whole band of pirates, survived stranded in the desert for 2 days, and moved a 20-ton boulder.
Stopped multiple world-ending threats, and even unlocked the secret of El Dorado like Sir Francis Drake before him.
Yeah, turns out it's not a city of gold, just a dead guy that turns people into zombies.
That was cool.
Didn't see that one coming. Anyway, Nate wouldn't have done any of those things if he weren't physically fit for the job. He's strong enough to move boulders twice his size and hold up a 4-ton gate for 4 seconds. He can climb huge cliffs with nothing but his fingertips and constantly jumps humongous gaps without needing a running start.
The standing broad jump world record is 12 feet and 3 inches.
Damn.
In this instance, Nathan Drake was able to make a 19-foot jump from a standstill. 19 feet! And he's always clearing similar jumps throughout his adventures.
Nate's got hops, but he's also got an iron hide. The dude is constantly falling dozens of feet and just shaking it off. Like that time he did a 40-foot belly flop and got right back up like it was nothing. That could kill a normal guy.
Nathan Drake is nothing if not determined. When he found himself cornered on a train and bleeding out from a bullet wound, his solution was to simply blow the whole thing to oblivion.
Yep.
What a convenient pile of propane tanks.
But of course, he survived the crash and even climbed to safety, despite having no way of knowing he'd get out of this whole mess alive at all.
On top of all that, Look what he's wearing! It's freezing up there!
Actually, explosions generally seem to be his exit of choice. Like
Yeah,
when he
bro.
blew up a cargo plane while flying over Saudi Arabia.
After surviving the trip to the ground, he wandered the desert for 2 straight days with 0 food or water. But even with all that, when he found a bunch of mercenaries who wanted to kill him, he was still able to fight them off. How is this guy real? What kind of deal did he make with Satan? Because he should know that stuff comes with a terrible price. Believe me.
All of this just proves how careless and haphazard
Sounds like Boomstick speaking from experience there.
Nathan really is. This man rarely, if ever, has a plan for anything at any point. Nearly every moment of his life, whether he's in or out of danger, Nathan's philosophy insists that he simply roll with whatever punches come his way. When it comes down to it, much of his survivability can be chalked up to an abundance of good luck.
And
Well,
also
bad
his
luck.
incredible knack for improvising and adapting. Lucky or not, hundreds, if not thousands of bad guys have tried to beat him to some treasure and lost. It's good odds that if you go up against Nathan Drake, you're not just gonna lose that treasure, you're gonna lose your life.
Damn right.
What the hell did you do back there?
Oh, you know, save the world.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, I'm gonna tell you how to save your relationship.
God damn it, no. Don't care about flowers. Holy crap. That was a long one. Come on, Drake. You got this, man.
Damn, it's cold up here. Okay, let's try. Aha, gotcha.
Stop! Turn around. Slowly.
Ah, crap. Hey there. I'm guessing the whole finders keepers rule isn't gonna apply.
Cut the chit-chat. The Grail's coming with me. Either walk away or die right here. Choose wisely.
Okay, Missy. First rule about me. I don't walk away. It never fails. I get to the gold at the end of the rainbow and somebody tries to kill me. Not a scratch.
Do you know what you've done?
Booby trap.
That's probably not good. Okay, that's definitely not good.
Oh. Kinda smart.
Sorry. Have to do what I have to do.
Oh, shit.
Ah, crap.
Oh no. God damn it. No.
Not a scratch.
Damn it.
Oh, nice shot! Told you she had a good arm.
Lara and Nathan have both displayed impressive feats of strength, durability, agility, and weapon skills, but Lara tended to have the edge in every category.
Both of them were way stronger than you'd think. Nathan shoved a boulder large enough to weigh 20 tons. That means he literally had the strength of 10 men.
But in Lara's case, she moved several limestone blocks used in the Great Pyramids. Not only did she move them much farther distances than Nathan, but given their size and makeup, these blocks should weigh over 27 tons each.
Lara's way tougher too, and has been through things that definitely would have taken Nate out.
Like when she was impaled by rebar, but was still able to accomplish everything necessary to survive a hostile island for a week. Nathan suffered a bullet wound in the same area of the body, and while he powered through the pain for a short time, he soon passed out and was unconscious while under intensive care for 3 days.
Yeah.
Take my word for it, I've been through pretty much everything you could think of, and I'd rather take a bullet than rebar any day. And that rebar thing happened when Lara was pretty young. Later, she got all sorts of combat and survival training from experts, while Nate was mostly self-taught, with a few pointers every so often from a con man. Also, when the pressure's really on, Lara manages to always keep a cool head. Much better than Nate.
So, you got a plan C?
Yeah, floor it. I'm getting on that train.
What are you, crazy?
Nathan
Yes.
Drake did just about everything by the seat of his pants, and eventually, luck always runs out.
Yeah, she was just too crafty for him.
The winner is Lara Croft.
Yeah, so sorry if you heard me whispering or heard, someone come into my room. People don't exactly listen. I have a door, knock on it. If I don't answer, fuck off. I'm just walking in my room and start shouting stuff at me. Yeah, so up next we got Scrooge McDuck versus Shovel Knight. You know what? I don't know anything about these characters really, but just because Shovel Knight is a video game character and like an adventurer, and he's gonna lose to Scrooge McDuck. That's what I feel like is gonna happen. This dude does some crazy stuff for money. So, I honestly expect him to just fucking whoop his ass. I feel like he's gonna have, way more durability. And just some crazy cartoon bullshit. But we'll see. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. End of the day, just fun to watch these sometimes. This should be a fun one, because I feel like it's a joke one. Joke ones can usually be pretty fun.
Some people adventure for wealth. For others, the wealth is in the adventure.
Either way, you'll be successful if you can bounce off your enemies' heads.
Like Scrooge McDuck, the wealthiest waterfowl to ever live.
And Shovel Knight, a shining example of the code of chivalry. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. In 1867, Scrooge McDuck was born to a poor family in Glasgow, Scotland. He grew up a relatively normal duckling until his 10th birthday.
Scrooge's father took him to see the remains of the old McDuck clan castle. See, their family wasn't always super poor, and Scrooge was inspired by the sight of their former glory. So the next day, he got a job and earned his first money ever. A dime.
Problem was, it was an American dime, and Scrooge was in Scotland. Naturally feeling pretty cheated, Scrooge swore he'd build his fortune by being, I quote, tougher than the toughies and sharper than the sharpies.
So he hopped over to America to start.
Height 3 feet, 20 pounds. Born in 1867. Damn. Birthplace Glasgow, Scotland. 300 quadrillion dollars. Damn. Invented concrete and the Super Bowl.
His quest for wealth. And judging by his money vault today, where he literally swims in gold, I'd say he did a pretty effing good job.
No obstacle was too difficult to keep him from fortune. By my estimations, his entire net worth today rests around $300 quadrillion.
Rich as he is, he's got to defend his treasure trove somehow. So this wealthy waterfowl's got more guns than I do. Not to mention the trusty cannons he has hidden around his manor. Haha, nothing like some old-fashioned artillery for home defense.
Scrooge also has a number of unorthodox
Cane, burglar center, neutral friction ray, anti-inertia ray, knife fighting, sword dueling, various guns and cannons.
high-tech firearms.
Or as normal people call them, laser guns. My favorite is the one that can shoot through solid steel titanium. It's called the Burglar Stunner, but I'm pretty sure that'll do a hell of a lot more than stun you.
Well, my favorite would be Scrooge's neutral-friction and anti-inertia rays. By removing a target's natural friction and inertia, these guns can turn a foe so slippery they can't grip anything, or take away all momentum from that foe's movement and weight. Without friction, a person will slide miles upon miles with no hope of stopping themselves. Without inertia, a cannonball will have even less impact than falling leaves, though it is important to note that these guns do not affect personal gravity.
Yeah, science and stuff. Though if I were him, I'd prefer the feel of one of his rifles or swords.
Or his signature sidearm, his trusty cane.
What's so special about a dusty old cane, you ask? Well, just look at the old quack go! Not every duck can turn their cane into both a club and a pogo stick.
Even when he's unarmed, Scrooge's thirst for wealth has pushed his body past many preconceived limits. He possesses incredible strength, speed, and durability.
Not to mention, the dude's got some serious huevos. One time when he was stuck in the savannah, he walked right up to a lion, beat it in a roaring match, and then just rode it all the way to town.
He's also a surprisingly skilled marksman.
Like some sort of gun-toting Mr. Miyagi, he can shoot flies out of the air with perfect precision.
Goddamn.
And he's no slouch with a blade. Apparently, Buffalo Bill taught him how to knife fight in, engine style. And now's a great time to remind you that Scrooge is pretty old. It was a different time.
Racism aside, it takes a lot to put this mighty mallard down. He survived the Titanic sinking.
Goddamn. Outrode a lion, survived the Titanic sinking, outran a cheetah, survived a cannon blast to the face, was dragged through a minefield, fought Teddy Roosevelt, traveled to the Earth's core, and destroyed a steamboat.
Being frozen solid in the Yukon, fighting hordes of wild animals, and taking a cannon shot to the face before being dragged through a minefield. He's even survived a trip to the literal center of the Earth, which, if you've forgotten, is pretty much super lava.
That's putting it mildly. The Earth's core is estimated to be well over 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
More than hot enough to cook your goose.
He's outrun a cheetah, which can reach 75 miles per hour. He's stopped a charging water buffalo, which can weigh up to 2,600 pounds.
And did you ever hear that legend where George Washington threw a silver dollar across the Potomac River? Well, Scrooge can do that too. And he even caught the coin on the other side. Because Scrooge isn't gonna waste a single dollar.
Seems pretty impressive, but Scrooge has some massively problematic flaws. Least of all is his age. He's 150 years old. That won't do him any favors in a fight.
And why can't he fly? I mean, he's a duck with his own private plane, and he has human teeth, and they really should just hire a poultry scientist at Disney. Oh, I'll send my resume.
Well, more importantly would be his overpowering greed. He can often lose sight of his goals or explode into an uncontrollable rage if someone threatens his wealth.
He is pretty selfish and has a one-track mind. I don't know if the uncontrollable rage part, though, is such a bad thing.
Certainly not in some situations, like the time Soapy Slick tried to rip Scrooge off, steal his property, and humiliate him by chaining him to a steamboat and making fun of his letters from home, including one informing Scrooge of his mother's passing.
That's more than enough to piss Scrooge off. So much that he
Of his steamboat, Soapy
is such a bad thing. He's selfish and has a one-track mind. I don't know if the uncontrollable rage part, though, is such a bad thing.
Certainly not in some situations, like the time Soapy Slick tried to rip Scrooge off, steal his property, and humiliate him by chaining him to a steamboat and making fun of his letters from home, including one informing Scrooge of his mother's passing.
That's more than enough to piss Scrooge off. So much that he literally tore the entire boat apart with his bare hands. Or wings. Holy damn, that's some real foul strength.
Just goes to show that nothing can stand between Scrooge and his wealth.
I don't know which was wilder in those days, the wolves or me.
A long time ago, the world was wild, and adventurers roamed the land, the most famous of whom were partners Shield Knight and Shovel Knight.
You can tell how good they are by the giant piles of loot behind them.
Shovel Knight and Shield Knight traveled together, and they were the stuff of legend. That is, until the Tower of Fate.
Once inside, a cursed amulet knocked Shovel Knight out cold. When he woke up, Shield Knight was gone and the tower was sealed shut. And boy, did that bum him out. So, like all depressed heroes, he abandoned everything and went to the wilderness.
4'6", 100 pounds, travels via catapult, and once fought a man whose power comes from hats.
To do a bunch of farming and most likely drinking.
Soon after he retired, an evil woman called the Enchantress took power, along with a group of villainous knights known as the Order of No Quarter. Get it?
Let me guess, the Enchantress was Shield Knight? Or one of the bad knights was Shield Knight?
It's funny. So, maybe retiring was Order of No Woman
what
called
was
the
funny?
Enchantress took power, along with a group of villainous knights known as the Order of No Quarter. Get it?
Oh.
It's funny. So, maybe retiring wasn't the most responsible idea.
Man's gotta mourn, Wiz. Man's gotta mourn.
You mean like when you took a week off to mourn after your divorce? Because I'm pretty sure all you did was get drunk and shoot fireworks at my house.
Ah, yeah. Man, that was a real good mourn. Well, anyway, Shovel Knight's break didn't last long. After the Enchantress and her knights took hold of the land, the Tower of Fate unsealed. Knowing it was his only chance to find out what happened to Shield Knight, he dug back into action. And with him, he took his mightiest weapon. A shovel.
Yeah.
Don't sell it short. It's not just any shovel, it's a shovel blade. And thanks to its surprisingly versatile nature, it can slash through anything from rats to...
Holy crap! Did he just kill a dragon with that thing?
Yes, he did.
That reminds me of the time I made my own weapon out of a yard tool. I miss my rake blade, but everyone got really confused and offended whenever I yelled my catchphrase, "Prepare to get raked!" So I stopped using it.
Oh.
That's for the best.
Oh, probably smart. Well, thanks to the shovel blade's unique attribute...
Shovel blade, shovel drop, charge handle, drop spark, armors, stalwart plate, domino mail, final guard, conjurer's coat, mail of momentum, ornate armor, armor of chaos, and toad gear.
Shovel Knight has a repertoire of deadly attacks, his signature being the shovel drop.
This deadly downward drop allows him to dig into his enemies, pogo stick style. Now, where have I seen that before?
He also has a charge attack that, when unleashed, does massive damage and can even penetrate armor. If his enemy is more than a scoop's reach away, he can strike the earth to fire a dangerous spark that travels along the ground.
You know what else it's good for? Digging up all of that sweet, sweet treasure.
But the shovel blade is far from his only weapon. Throughout his journey, Shovel Knight has acquired many magical relics, which are quite handy in battle, though they do require access to a limited supply of magic to use.
He can set stuff on fire with the flare wand, or punch through compact dirt with the dust knuckles.
He can also take the wind out of his enemies with the throwing anchor, or fly a short distance with the propeller dagger.
If Shovel Knight needs to kill bad guys in those hard-to-reach...
Flare wand, dust knuckles, throwing anchor, propeller dagger, chaos spear, mobile gear, alchemy coin, and warhorn.
spaces, he has his trusty Chaos Orb, which acts like a bouncy ball of doom.
He also possesses the Mobile Gear, a mechanism which allows him to traverse dangerous terrain such as spikes and small gaps with ease.
Mobile gear. But my favorite relic is the War Horn, which is kind of like the Horn of Gondor, but it makes people explode.
Shovel Knight carries a few defensive relics as well.
Yeah, like those sweet fish goblets.
You mean the Truple Chalices. These special liquid receptacles can carry ichors, substances which, when drunk, provide certain benefits to Shovel Knight. Most notably, the Ichor of Renewal, which fully restores his health and magic.
And how do you get such a useful liquid? From a bunch of fish that perform an interpretive dance and spit in your cup. It's
Gross.
dinner and a show.
Last but not least is
That's
the
gross.
Phase Locket. This relic allows Shovel Knight to pass through his enemies and even grants him temporary invincibility while under its effect.
Like all good knights, our shovel-wielding friend protects himself with a suit of shining armor. Actually, he's got a few of them.
His most capable all-around set is the Dynamo Mail. Along with providing the kind of defense you need for fighting the forces of evil, it has an added bonus. Hitting just about anything with his shovel drop builds up a powerful charge attack.
Normally, a large suit of armor comes with a lot of extra weight, but Shovel Knight doesn't let that slow him down.
Even in full plate, our delving hero seemingly never tires and is agile enough to dodge everything from cannonballs to fireballs.
Actually, the weight is more of a bonus since his attack of choice is bouncing on heads. Whiz,
Fair.
math that.
On it, comparing his height to these doors, Shovel Knight appears to be about 4 feet 6 inches tall. Given his broad physique, he likely weighs approximately 100 pounds at most. In the 14th century, a knight's plate armor for combat typically weighed about 60 pounds. Scaling to Shovel Knight's height, his armor likely weighs 50 pounds. Including the 5-pound shovel, he must drop with a force of over 6,700 joules of kinetic energy. In comparison, Mike Tyson can punch with up to 1,600 joules and has knocked out 44 people in the ring. And Shovel Knight's striking power is over 4 times stronger than that.
Damn.
Good job! No wonder Shovel Knight was able to take down.
Beat the Order of No Quarter twice. Fought the Battletoads and Kratos. What? Dodged cannonballs, killed a griffin and a dragon, dodged magical fireballs, can hold his breath indefinitely. And he's gonna lose to Scrooge McDuck. That's the crazy thing, is his shit depends on mostly on magic, right? Like, but that's limited. He's never fought anybody like Scrooge McDuck with his kind of weaponry and shit. I think he's gonna fuck him up.
On the entire Order of No Quarter, including a giant steampunk mech and the Enchantress herself.
He's also stubborn enough to hold his breath underwater for an impressively indefinite amount of time. And he even held his own against the Battletoads and Kratos, the upcoming god of war.
What the hell? Really? That's awesome! Guess you sell enough games, you can get anybody.
But even after all that, Shovel Knight doesn't seem the most intelligent warrior. After all, the only reason he gave up on Shield Knight for so long is because he just assumed she was dead.
Still, he's one deadly warrior who isn't afraid to put his enemies 6 feet under. You know, because he digs holes and stuff.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, I've got some free food for you.
Blue Apron again. Da-da-da-da. Alrighty. Let's watch Scrooge McDuck fucking kill this guy and steal all of his treasure. Oh, bro, you fuck. Damn. Oh shit. Bro, what? Come on, Scrooge. Where did you use your gun? Whoa. That was brutal. What the fuck?
KO! Damn, that's cold! With his own weapon!
Shovel Knight might have been able to uphold the code of chivalry, but he could not hold up to Scrooge's wealth of experience and superior strength.
Aside from the extra 100+ years of experience he's got over Shovel Knight, Scrooge's feats blew him out of the water. For example, there's no way that Shovel could have put him down very quickly when he's powered through a minefield like it's nothing.
And remember how he threw a coin across the Potomac River and rode across fast enough to catch it? Well, we know the average width of the river is 1,300 feet, and he threw the coin at an angle of 20 degrees. After some quick calculations, this means he must have thrown the coin, boarded his boat, rowed across the entire river, and exited the boat to catch the coin in less than 5.4 seconds. This means he must have been rowing the boat at speeds well over 164 miles per hour.
Jesus, how fast are his arms moving there?
To make all of that work, at least 14,400 rotations per minute.
That's ducking awesome!
He is strong enough to rip apart a steamboat after all, but regardless of Scrooge's power, Shovel Knight had very little options to defend against the Duck's wackier, physics-breaking weaponry. Those that could buy him some time could only last for so long due to his limited supply of magic.
Plus, Scrooge has fought knights and magicians before, while Shovel Knight never fought anyone quite like Scrooge McDuck. Looks like Shovel Knight dug his own grave.
The winner is Scrooge McDuck.
Next time on Death Battle, we've got Venom vs. Bane. Marvel vs. DC. Alright, I'm going with Venom. Bane's good, he's strong, he's smart. Not that, people usually forget about the whole smart thing when they adapt him. But, he is strong, he is smart. I think this was before the whole, City of Bane thing. But, Venom, he just... I don't think Bane's ever fought anyone like Venom before. He's probably just as strong as Bane, if not stronger. He's fucking insane. He's, got all the symbiote powers, some Spider-Man powers. And, because of him being a symbiote, it's hard to even hurt him without fire or sound. And Bane's not going to know about those weaknesses. So yeah, I'm going with Venom.
We haven't really done the best job with our merchandise recently, and we really want to be able to give our community new stuff that they'll enjoy.
And you've got an impressive resume, so if you think you can handle it, the merchandise director job is yours.
Great to be here, Mr. Hines. I won't let you guys down.
Excellent. The first thing you'll need to tell our community about is our first membership.
What's that?
Well, Rooster Teeth First is kind of like our subscription service for the RT website, the mobile app, and the Xbox and Apple TV apps.
Yeah, for less than $5 a month, you get access to videos early, exclusive content, everything's ad-free, and one membership works across all brands on the website.
What's your plan for the promotion?
Well, I was thinking I'd just put this up on, the internet. Didn't you know it's a film crew? All right, I'll see you around the water cooler.
Oh, Bob, just one more thing. If it doesn't work out, we're gonna have to eat you.
Hey,
Well
you
then.
did. Sign up for first membership now. Or they're gonna eat me.
Every champion of justice inspires others, whether they mean to or not.
And sometimes that inspiration creates your worst nightmare.
Venom, the ultimate antithesis to Spider-Man.
And Bane, the burly genius who broke the bet. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The word symbiosis refers to two organisms living in beneficial harmony, such as when two beings bond over an obsessive, psychotic desire to kill Spider-Man.
Eddie Brock was an up-and-coming journalist.
I should say favorite host. Edward Charles Allen Brock, 6'3", 230 pounds, from the planet Clintar. Graduated from Empire State University with a BA in journalism, and has possessed over 30 hosts.
On the brink of national success, when life decided to just shit all over him.
One day, Eddie published an article incriminating a man he thought was a serial killer. However, that very same day, Spider-Man caught the real killer, publicly shaming Eddie. As a result, Eddie's company fired him, his father disowned him, and his wife left him. Also, he had cancer.
Damn, talk about a bad day. Understandably pretty upset about it, Eddie blamed Spider-Man for ruining his life. This led to his fateful meeting with a weird black gooey alien. Remember Gag from the 90s? It's just like that, except alive and evil.
This was a symbiote from the planet Clintar, an alien species with one goal: to grow stronger by fusing with a living host. I know that sounds intimidating and almost parasitic, but the Clintar people are naturally a peaceful race. However, they often inherit their host's traits and personality. This symbiote in particular had previously bonded with a violent alien bent on genocide and a costume superhero everybody knows as Deadpool.
That crazy lunatic? Oh, there's no way this symbiote is sane after that.
It wasn't. Afterward, it bonded with Spider-Man, who experienced this rage and lunacy firsthand. Horrified by this, Spider-Man eventually discarded the symbiote, unaware the alien had determined Spidey was its ideal host and became obsessed with him.
Much like bar trash Cindy that sometimes you go home with but never really want to see her again. So what do you get when you combine an angry man and a black goo monster both hatefully obsessed with the same guy? Most just call him Venom.
Did you know Eddie came up with the name Venom because he felt he was spewing venom from the tabloids he worked at?
Seriously? I give that origin a 3 out of 10. Thank God the name's cool at least. And Venom...
Yeah, cool name. Bad way of deciding on that name.
His abilities are even cooler. He's insanely strong, ridiculous.
Increased strength, speed, and durability. Able to shapeshift. Has webbing, can glide, can create decoys, can sprout tendrils or spikes, can turn invisible, and of course has rapid healing, because why the fuck not on top of all of that?
Agile, and has a fast-paced healing factor. He can power through bullets with no problem at all. Plus, the symbiote carries some of the abilities of its previous owners, including Spidey. That means he can climb on walls and shoot webbing strong enough that Spidey himself can't break through.
Technically speaking, Venom simply reproduces the webbing effects via one of his more useful powers, shapeshifting. This symbiote can act as a liquid, allowing it to increase Venom's size for intimidation, or even mimic Eddie's everyday clothing for discretion.
Not to mention, Venom can morph into a wingsuit to glide through the air, isolate and purge toxins from its host's body, straight up turn invisible, or even just sprout spikes for simple stabbing weapons.
With these abilities seemingly limited only by his twisted imagination, Venom has tangled with many of his world's heavy hitters. He's defeated Spider-Man without having
through a car several blocks, survived an exploding power plant, defeated Spider-Man, Electro, and Juggernaut, withstood blows from the Hulk, held up a Ferris wheel while weakened, and Eddie can press over 500 pounds. God fucking damn.
A host, resisted Ghost Rider's penance stare, and shaken off the Hulk's infamous thunderclap. That's right, he's even taken blows from the likes of the Juggernaut and the Hulk.
Even if Venom does get
right, he's even
Hold on,
taken
bro.
blows from the likes of the Juggernaut and...
Look at his fucking face here. Bro. That's fucking awesome. Got fucked up.
And the Hulk.
Even if Venom does get injured, the symbiote can rapidly heal its host. From broken bones, impalement through the chest, or even blasts from an anti-tank rocket. He's also so speedy that he can catch up to bullets in mid-flight. But if he doesn't feel like it, he'll just take the shot and spit it back with deadly force.
He's strong enough to bust down metal doors with his fists, tear apart large military trucks, or throw cars several blocks away.
I mean, part of that's gotta be Brock. Have you seen how much that dude can lift?
Most impressively, Venom once held up a giant carnival ride similar to a Ferris wheel, even after getting struck by one of his worst weaknesses, a sound gun.
A sound gun? That's pretty lame. So, like, I could just beat him if I scream really loud?
With enough sound or literal firepower, yes, you could force the symbiote to expose the vulnerable host underneath. Though I should note that repeated exposure has helped Venom build up some tolerance. Also, while the symbiote is highly versatile, Venom is not exactly a strategist. Unsurprising given his apparent insanity.
I like being bad. It makes me happy.
The symbiote also requires a diet containing the chemical phenethylamine.
Pheno, what? You like, buy that at the store, or...?
Kinda.
No, it's found in certain fungi, chocolate, and brain matter, which the...
I mean, you can get fungi, you can get certain fungi and chocolate at the store. But yeah, no, you definitely can't get that last one at the store.
symbiote greatly hungers for.
Oh great, now it eats brains! God, this guy is literally a living nightmare.
Eddie, is that you?
There's no more Eddie, and no more symbiote. Only Venom.
In his personal mission to drive crime from Gotham City, Batman has faced dozens of foes, each more vile and cunning than the last. But none challenged his sheer willpower more than the monstrous man called Bane.
Bane's life was screwed from the start. He was born into prison and made...
Real name is not available. I actually didn't know that. We didn't know his real name. Alright then. 6'8", 250 pounds, born in Penadero Prison. Favorite childhood toy, teddy bear. It's a teddy bear named Osito. And favorite hobby, breaking backs, of course. Is a big guy. For you. What do you mean for you? You guys saying they're bigger than him? I don't understand what that last line.
To carry out his dead dad's life sentence. Talk about carrying the sins of your father. I mean, who puts a baby in jail? Couldn't it just, like, crawl through the bars? Did they make a baby jail? I have so many questions.
The child spent his dawning years in captivity, forced to fend for himself against a cruel and unforgiving world. Then, one day, a fateful accident caused something to snap inside him.
Yeah, it's fucking spine.
No, well, it should have. Instead, the boy slipped into a coma where he saw a vision of his future self. A man standing above all other men.
Future self told him he would be second to none, so long as he could conquer the power of fear, which is apparently shaped like a bat. Huh, would you look at that? What are the odds?
When the child awoke, he began his journey to conquer that fear, through the power of bloody murder.
Hell yeah! That's also when the prison warden called him a bane to everything holy.
And that's why he's named Bane.
Ugh, 2 out of 10. Anyway, it wasn't long before Bane caught wind of a certain bat ruling Gotham City by fear. But he got to work trying to become the ridiculously jacked guy he saw in his dream, so he could take down Batman once and for all.
As he grew up, Bane entered an intense daily workout regimen, not just of his body, but his mind as well. He educated himself in 10 languages, escapology, combat tactics, and several martial arts, including a few he created himself.
Bane pretty much became a legend across the prison, so to remind everybody who was in charge, the warden decided to make an example of him.
See, this place wasn't just a prison. The army of Santa Prisca was conducting tests on human subjects with an experimental formula called Venom.
Because super soldier formulas are all the rage.
The procedure had killed every previous test subject, but Bane proved hardier than expected.
And after he had a taste, Bane wanted Venom for himself. So he faked his own death, punched a few sharks to death, and liberated the whole prison single-handed. The inmates joined his cause, and he took his new super soldier serum to Gotham City.
Using a special apparatus on his wrist.
Genius intellect, master of several martial arts, combat strategist, Venom serum, which dramatically increases his strength, durability, and healing.
Bane can administer a dosage of Venom directly into his brain at will. Doing so dramatically increases his muscle mass, turning him into one of Gotham City's most ferocious physical threats. He's destroyed the Batmobile with his bare hands, jumped off skyscrapers without injury, and lifted loaded armored trucks which weigh tens of thousands of pounds. And then there's the feat he's most famous for,
breaking the back
of Batman. But Bane didn't just break bone. He literally put poor Batman into a coma.
Well, years later, Batman did get his revenge. After swapping powers with Superman, he paid Bane a visit and broke his everything.
And somehow, this didn't kill him.
He's one tough son of a bitch, and if he needs it, Bane can crank up his flow of venom for more strength and faster healing. But when he first tried this, it came at a cost.
Turns out, an overdose of venom can temporarily deteriorate one's mind, turning Bane into a mindless, muscle-bound beast.
And it's also surprisingly addictive, so eventually Bane swore off the stuff for some time.
But this only let Bane prove that he is just as dangerous even without the performance-enhancing drug. He's been pelted by dozens of bricks at once and taken countless stabbings and bullets without even reacting. He once cauterized his own wound with a blowtorch and even got thrown hundreds of yards by a Elasti-Woman and got right back up, ready to fight.
Still off the juice, Bane is strong enough to tear down a stone prison wall, casually rip off an armored guy's limbs, and take out dozens of members of the League of Assassins, solo. But if he really needs to, he can always fall off the wagon and get back on the venom.
Bane's absurd power is matched only by his intelligent mind. He possesses a photographic memory.
Tore down a stone wall without venom, was launched hundreds of feet away unharmed, lifted a 27-ton armored truck, survived an assault from Superbat, survived 11 years in prison isolation, beat 6 villains on Venom by himself, swam against a 35-mile-per-hour current, and nearly killed the Batman.
Rivals Ra's al Ghul in chess, and deduced the identity of Batman in 1 year when nobody else could figure it out.
Yeah, Bane's pretty ridiculous, but it's no secret that he's at his best when he's got that venom juice pumping through his veins. Luckily for him, he eventually developed a form of venom that didn't turn his brain into mush, and he then soon got addicted to that stuff all over again.
Still, Bane has proven over and over again that with or without venom, anyone who crosses him will beg for mercy and receive none.
When we fought before, I broke the bat. Today, I break the man.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But all this strength talk has reminded me I gotta bulk up, and the best way to...
Again with the blue apron. Alright, yeah, Bane is impressive. That was some impressive shit, but I still think Venom's gonna win this.
Step aside, niños.
It's the bat!
No, it's something else.
That's fucking cool.
You're mine! Yummy! Oh, your blood's spicy! Delicious!
Bro's fucking face. What the fuck did he say there?
Big Daddy can punch!
Bro. This music always gets so loud during fights, man.
So, you fall back on cheap magic tricks, trying to disappear. Yet you don't know how to be truly invisible. Now, I give you permission to die.
No way that killed Venom.
You're just like all the others. Broken. Unbreakable.
Fuck yeah.
What's happening? Now, for what we came for! Up goes the weasel!
KO! You! That can't taste good.
Both fighters were intense physical threats, but only one wielded the superior Venom.
Venom had many advantages over Bane. Speed, durability, versatility, and even strength.
Bane's peak strength was at most just enough to lift a 27-ton car. Meanwhile, Venom was strong enough to stop a falling carnival ride and hold it up by himself, even while in a weakened state. Comparing it to similar carnival rides, my very conservative estimate would place this thing weighing around 200 tons.
Way more impressive than anything Bane ever lifted.
Of course, Bane was smarter. However, even if he had deduced Venom's key weaknesses to fire and sound, he wasn't really equipped to take advantage of them.
As for speed, Venom could catch bullets. Even better, he could catch up to bullets in midair. He had to move over 1,500 miles per hour to do that.
Ironically enough, almost twice the speed of sound.
Surprisingly, their durability levels were pretty even. Both have taken hits from Superman-level beings and lived to fight another day.
The big difference being Venom's healing factor was far superior. He could fight on par with Juggernaut, who can make 4.8 magnitude earthquakes with his bare hands.
But it's not like Batman ever needed super strength to knock Bane out cold.
In time, Venom's superior strength, speed, durability, and versatility simply overwhelmed Bane.
Looks like Venom was the real Bane of this fight.
The winner is Venom. Hey, stick around to find out who's coming up next on Death Battle.
And if you want to see behind-the-scenes commentary on the episode, then click that box and start a 30-day free first membership trial.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We got Natsu versus Ace up next. I'm going with Natsu. I like One Piece better than Fairy Tail. You know, I mentioned that already when we did the Zoro versus Urza fight, I think last episode. But, look, let me put it this way. First of all, spoilers, you know, for One Piece. You know, me saying stuff about Ace that you know, might not know. Just, you know, skip ahead a little bit to when I actually start the video. But only one of those characters has died. As far as I know. I don't remember Natsu ever dying. And if he did, he didn't stay dead. Ace, on the other hand, well, he got turned into a donut. I'm not trying to hate on Ace. You know, he's awesome. That shit was emotional as fuck. The fact that he's made of fire, which is what Natsu eats. Natsu has his backup of electricity. And the fact that Ace has canonically died in his show and is still dead. I feel like Natsu's gonna win this. So, you know, let's hop right into it.
Hey Mark.
Hey Mr. J.
So I know doing all this merch marketing, like these 3 awesome Death Battle t-shirts, can get kind of stressful. So we added some new office amenities that I think will help take the edge off. Like the new office jacuzzi.
Yeah, no thanks. You ever smelled a wet sloth before?
Alright, maybe a relaxing massage then.
I got a fair hands.
Alright, how about a nice hot sauna?
It's a fucking toast oven, Chad.
I'm Mark Slothman, and now I got the sexiest shirt in the market, Death Battle shirts. You wear this, you're gonna find yourself in a sex battle. I don't know what that is, but I know you'll love it, okay?
They're really trying to kill
now
this guy.
Click the link below and buy this shirt, or they're gonna eat me.
Yeah. They were definitely gonna eat that guy.
In ancient times, the Greeks believed everything to be made of 4 elements: earth, air, water, and the most difficult to control, fire.
Well, these 2 combatants have mastered the art of playing with fire. Natsu Dragneel, the Dragon Slayer Mage of the Fairy Tail Guild.
And Portgas D. Ace, the feared pirate known as Fire Fist.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And brother, the future king of the pirates, Monkey D. Luffy. I don't care what motherfuckers say. Buggy is not gonna become the fucking pirate king. Fuck that clown guy. I get that he's becoming more, like, serious over the years. Like, he actually wants to become pirate king. But I don't care. Dude gave up on his dream for years and thinks he can just waltz back in and become the pirate king? Nah. Ain't happening. No way. That being said, now that I'm talking about it, comment down below what fights you want to see before One Piece ends, since it's going to be ending soon. Like, it's gotta be ending soon. But yeah. As for me, like, personally, I did, like, they gotta have a fight against, like, Luffy versus Blackbeard. They gotta have a fight, Zoro versus Mihawk. They gotta have Luffy versus Kobe. Like, those are the 3 for me that off the top of my head, they have to happen. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah, I think that those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. So, you know, I'm not going to hold up the video more. We'll move on.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Well, looks like they had to cut this audio. Can we see what they're saying if I turn on subtitles?
The end.
No.
Almost. Fortunately.
Okay, so, pretty much what they were saying there. Natsu, grew up in some village. Pretty sure that's what this was. Yeah, Natsu grew up in a village. You know, had a family. This is his mom. This is his dad. This is his brother Zareth. Then a dragon showed up, and he burned all that shit down, and everybody died, including Natsu. The end.
The end.
Almost. Fortunately, Natsu's older brother, Zareth, survived. Horrified by the violent fate of his family, Zareth desperately sought a way to revive Natsu. Eventually, he discovered the connections between life, death, and magic, and became obsessed.
And so he became the most evil and powerful mage ever, cursed to live forever and ruin everyone's lives. But everything worked out, I guess, because he brought Natsu back. Just one catch, Natsu had to be revived as a demon, though this gave him the potential to become even more powerful than Zareth.
Unfortunately, Zareth had become incredibly dangerous to be around. Fearing for his brother's safety, he left Natsu in the care of his friend Igniel, who just so happened to be the Fire Dragon King.
Natsu got adopted by a friend.
Full name, Natsu Dragneel, alias END. Height, 5'7", member of a fairy tale guild, foster son to a dragon, trained dragon slayer, twice orphaned, and gets motion sick very easily.
Freaking dragon. Kinda weird since the dragon killed him in the first place and his family, but whatever. Dragon Dad ended up teaching little Natsu Dragon Slayer magic, a school of mystical martial arts developed specifically to kill dragons. Wait, man, it's really back and forth with these dragons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Regardless, Igniel eagerly accepted his role as adoptive father. He taught Natsu how to read, write, and fight. But then when Natsu came of age, Igniel suddenly sent him through a time machine and poof! Before he knew it, Natsu was trapped 400 years in the future and abandoned by the only father figure he ever really knew.
I know that feel, little buddy. I know that feel.
Of course, it was all part of Igniel's plan to save the world, but at the time, Natsu didn't know that. Fortunately, it wasn't long before he found a new home and family among the mercenaries of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Yeah, turns out being a demon trained by a goddamn dragon made Natsu pretty effective as a bounty hunter.
Natsu possesses superhuman speed, impressive strength, and unbelievable durability. He has superior senses, such as sight and smell, along with a mastery of hand-to-hand combat skills.
Mix all that up with his Fire Dragon Slayer magic, and you got one fiery cocktail that'll knock just about anybody on their ass.
As the name suggests, Fire Dragon Slayer...
Oh man, right. Fire Dragon Slayer magic. Fire Dragon Roar, Fire Dragon Iron Fist, Fire Dragon Claw, Fire Dragon Sword Horn, Fire Dragon Brilliant Frame, Crimson Lotus Exploding Flame Blade, Crimson Lotus Fire Dragon Fist, Lightning Fire Dragon Magic, augments his Fire Dragon Slayer moves, Firing Hammer, Crimson Lotus Exploding Lightning Blade, and his Dragon Force, Hidden Fire Form, Crimson Lotus Phoenix Blade.
Magic revolves around conjuring and manipulating fire. A prime example would be Natsu's signature move, the Fire Dragon's Roar.
Black Fire Dragon Mode, Transformation Magic, Fire Dragon King Mode, Fire Dragon King's Demolition Fist, and Fire Dragon King's Roar.
He literally shoots fire from his mouth.
Or he can engulf his hand in flames for the devastating Fire Dragon's Iron Fist.
You know, we're gonna be saying fire a lot this episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Natsu has well over 24 different ways to incorporate fire into his martial arts, but his real strength comes from a move nobody ever really expects.
Yeah.
He eats fire.
Eats fire!
Like all mages in the fairy tale world, Natsu has a limited pool of magic, but consuming fire actually replenishes it. Not only that, he can consume a few different types of elemental magic as well, including lightning.
Talk about a shocking appetite! And because this is anime, eating lightning gives Natsu access to an all-new form, Lightning Fire Dragon. With this, Natsu's abilities are enhanced with electricity, giving him a brand new element of power.
To increase his fire abilities, Natsu can enter Dragon Force. This greatly increases his Dragon Slayer magic and physical prowess, bringing Natsu closer to the strength of a full-grown dragon.
He's even starting to look like a dragon now.
Yeah.
I think that's like an awful traumatic reminder when he looks at himself.
But when his Dragon Slayer abilities aren't enough, Natsu enters his strongest mode yet, Fire Dragon King mode. In this form, Natsu has access to techniques only the most powerful of dragons could wield, such as the Demolition Fist and the Fire Dragon King's Roar.
At his strongest, he could wipe out exactly 973 soldiers all at once and create massive explosions so big they could wipe out a whole town.
Natsu's raw power is extraordinary, both magically and physically.
Fuck up that
He's strong enough to lift an enormous stone slab several times larger than himself. Comparing this stone to Natsu's height and compensating for the density of the stone, it's likely this block weighs about 135 tons.
Talk about never skipping arm day. He's also fast. He's fought in multiple battles where he's moved faster than the eye can see, putting him well over 9,000 miles per hour.
And when fighting opponents even faster than...
That shit was fucking right out of Dragon Ball Z, man. Wiped out 973 soldiers at once, destroyed the Tower of Heaven, survived Jalal's meteor-level magic, which is what's happening in this fucking little box over here. Lifted a large stone slab, one-shot a war god, moved faster than the eye could see, and melted a Colosseum with his heat. It's not even... That's like... not even the most impressive shit he's managed to accomplish, dude.
Him, Natsu has used his keen observational skills and indomitable willpower to predict their moves and defeat them. He's pretty clever in battle, which is surprising given how headstrong and stubborn he can be.
Like any real fighter, Natsu prioritizes offense over defense, running in guns or, I guess, arms blazing.
Except this impulsive approach to fighting often leaves massive amounts of collateral damage in his wake. Remember how we mentioned his firepower could wipe out a whole town? Well, sometimes that's not completely intentional. In fact, this hasty attitude may be his greatest weakness.
Nah, his greatest weakness is how easily he gets motion sick.
Yeah.
Put him on a moving car or boat and he'll be hurling in a matter of seconds. That flying cat following him around should start carrying vomit bags.
Yeah, that's one of the stranger downsides of Dragon Slayer magic. Natsu's dragon-like senses can overload his semicircular canals, creating a feeling similar to vertigo. But more importantly, Natsu has a bad habit of burning through his available magic rather quickly.
Yeah, but who cares? He can just chow down on some tasty flames or lightning to replenish his magic.
Just one problem. Consuming any fire or lightning that Natsu has created himself will not replenish his reserves.
Huh. Oh well, Natsu's still a badass.
And see, I like that detail because it makes sense to me. You know, it'd be... You know what I mean? Like, the fire he eats gets turned into magic. And then he uses that magic to, you know, he turns that magic into fire. So, if he eats his own fire, he's just creating an endless loop of, you know, he eats the fire, which turns into magic, which he then turns back into fire. Whereas he eats, you know, fire from somewhere else, it's added on top of what he's already eaten.
He really is the Fairy Tale Guild's trump card for whenever things go south, and he continues to fulfill his old dragon dad's wish of making the world a safer place by setting it on fire.
I think it's time we stop playing around. Let's get down to the real fight. I'm gonna shatter you into a million pieces.
Damn right.
Wealth, fame, power. Gold D. Roger, the king of the pirates, obtained this and everything else the world had to offer.
And then he was brutally executed, leaving everyone to run off searching for the king.
No, he was brutally executed with a goddamn smile on his face. Dude went out without a single fuck.
King's long-lost treasure, the One Piece.
However, unknown to most, Roger left behind an heir, albeit unborn. Terrified the Marines would execute Roger's son as well, the child's mother held her pregnancy for a total of 20 months. 20 months!
Holy mother of hell! How does that even happen?
Sheer inconceivable willpower. Though she died in childbirth, her last act was to give her newborn son his name, Portgas D. Ace.
Soon after, Ace was adopted by an old acquaintance of his father, Monkey D. Garp, and raised alongside Monkey D. Luffy and his childhood friend Sabo.
Over time, Ace, Luffy, and Sabo grew very close, considering themselves brothers and together forging a lifelong pact.
Yep.
They would forever live life as free as possible.
And for Ace, that meant following...
Full name, Portgas D. Ace, also known as Fire Fist Ace. 6 feet, 20 years old, son of Goldie Roger, the king of the pirates. Bounty is 550 billion berries. Wait, no, million berries. Sorry. Captain of the Spade Pirates. And birth withheld for 11 extra months, which, yeah, should not be physically possible.
in his father's footsteps. It was the pirate's life for him.
Ace was a natural on the sea, thanks to his incredible strength and combat aptitude. He quickly learned his way around the ocean, becoming the captain of his own ship in just a year's time, and eventually joining the ranks of the deadliest pirates around. He even claimed one of the world's most sought-after treasures, a devil fruit.
In the One Piece world, if you eat yourself a devil fruit, you get yourself a superpower.
Yep.
In Ace's case, he ate the Flame fruit, which, guess what? Granted him the power to create and control fire. But with new power comes a buttload of badass new ways to kill people. Get this guy's gun hands are actually handguns.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's accurate. That would be Ace's fire gun ability, and it's just one of many attacks that Flame Fruit's power provides.
Man, I love my gun leg and all, but now I think I really need me some gun hands to go along with it.
Boomstick, sometimes I really wonder about where you came from.
The front door, like every day. Come on, Wiz, pay attention.
Anyway, these fire abilities are what earned him the nickname Fire Fist Ace.
Because he can turn his punches into blazing balls of red-hot fire. Forget gun hands, give me some of that.
Manipulating fire comes easy.
Logia intangibility, fire gun, fire fist, fire pillar, firefly, and fiery doll. St. Elmo's fire, crossfire, and the great flame commandment, flame emperor.
The Ace. He can conjure up enormous pillars of flame so intensely heated they can incinerate enemy projectiles, acting as a sort of fire shield.
He's also got some really weird names for his attacks, like Firefly, Fiery Doll, and St. Elmo's Fire. Man, when did Elmo become a saint?
No. Actually, that's referencing weather phenomena where plasma appears to discharge atop a pointed object. Ace's version is not like that at all. Instead, he conjures up 2 javelins made of pure fire and hurtles them through enemies, burning them inside and out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with his version.
Firefly and Fiery Doll is a combination attack, where he creates several small balls of green plasma which surround a foe before detonating in a massive series of explosions.
He does have one attack with a really cool name, though.
Oh, what's that?
Crossfire, you get caught up in the crossfire.
Of course. However, Ace's most powerful attack is undoubtedly his great flame commandment, Flame Emperor.
Which is a pretty big name for what is essentially a fiery spirit bomb. But good God, if you see that thing coming your way, don't even bother trying to run. You dead.
There's even more. See, the devil fruit Ace discovered was of a rare breed, a Logia fruit. Because of this, Ace also gained the ability to transform his entire body into fire.
When he's in flame on mode, physical attacks pass right through him like he isn't even there. And if his fire body is somehow messed up, like someone dropping a giant candle snuffer on him, his true human body would be totally unaffected.
Actually, since receiving this power, Ace has only been badly hurt by other Logia users wielding an element with an inherent advantage over fire, such as magma or water.
Man, it's like he's invincible.
In a way, but it's not an automatic defense. Ace must make the conscious decision to transform his body.
But thanks to his blindingly quick reflexes, he's able to avoid almost any attack. He can even react quick enough to avoid a shot from a sniper.
In this instance, he was reacting to the gunman in view. Assuming this gunman was professionally trained, Ace would have needed to react in about a quarter of a second.
But who needs speed when your fire fist can blow apart?
And trust me, that guy is professionally trained. I've seen some of the shit he can do, even before the time skip. That fucking, when he killed those seagulls, goddamn.
5 ships all at once!
Considering ships like these would likely be constructed of teak wood, to accomplish this, Ace would need to hit each ship with at least 15,000 pounds of force per square inch.
So getting hit by Ace would be like getting hit with a wrecking ball. And when he throws more fire into the mix, he can wipe out an entire town.
Ace's last extraordinary quality actually has little to do with fire at all. If there's anything he inherited from his mother, it's his insane willpower and endurance.
Yeah.
He once fought a karate...
Avoided a sniper shot, survived a duel of Blackbeard, punched through 5 ships at the same time, avoided multiple attacks while surrounded, fought Jinbei for 5 days straight, fast enough to intercept Akino's killing blow, and became a captain within a single year despite no prior experience, doing anything other than living on a fucking island.
Fishman for 5 straight days. Man, with that endurance, he's gonna make some lucky lad or lady real happy someday. Or I guess he would have if he didn't. Oh, hey, heads up. Huge spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, he's dead. Like, totally dead.
Like many Logia users, Ace grew cocky in his ability to avoid being hit. In fact, he practically forgot what pain even felt like. And so, despite all of Ace's fantastic feats, his most impressive was when, for once, he chose to take a hit, sacrificing himself to save his brother, Luffy.
Damn. Would you do that for me, Wiz?
Oh, sure, of course.
You're a goddamn liar.
Yep.
I can't allow that. I'll take care of this on my own.
You should have never left that boat. If you had never left that boat, you would have been fine, man. You just had to try to fucking be a hero and fight for your fucking captain's name.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, all this talk of chowing down on some scrumptious flames is making me hungry. Now, I'm a man who likes a good... for a death battle!
Hey, you! Thief, come back here!
Give that back, or you'll have to deal with me.
Nah.
That's it! I'm gonna mess you up!
Fire! Fire!
Fire Dragon Swordhorn! Wait, are you seriously made of fire?
Yeah.
Sunflare! Time to turn up the heat! Fire Dragon King Roar! Fire Dragon King's Demolition Fist!
Fire Fist! Not bad, hotshot. But you can't even touch me. Fire Blast!
Oh, no.
Fiery doll.
And normally, that'd be game. But not too built different.
Wait, are you seriously eating fire?
Yeah. Kinda his thing.
Try eating this!
Oh, he will. Oh.
Like I said, you can't touch me.
I'm not trying to. Lightning Dragon Fire Mode! Lightning Fire Dragon Roar!
Oh. That was unnecessarily brutal.
Phew. All's well that ends well.
KO! Ew! That's a burn if I ever saw one.
This battle was anything but clear-cut. Natsu held the advantage in speed and strength, and Ace trumped him in endurance and defense. Still, neither held an advantage so much that the other couldn't keep up.
Both were mostly immune to each other's fire attacks. Because fire is Ace's only real weapon, this means he really didn't have anything that could kill Natsu. Natsu was definitely strong enough to put Ace down, but with Ace's intangible fire form, Natsu couldn't even touch him. So, sounds like a stalemate.
Very nearly. Luckily for Natsu, he had an ace in the hole.
Yep.
Nice one.
Oh, thanks. Natsu has had far more combat training than Ace, and is known for using his superior senses to study his opponents and take advantage of their vulnerabilities.
No matter what I try, this human just consumes my curses. He might even be stronger than he was when this fight started.
When Ace realized Natsu could eat fire, he had to become more liberal with his true physical form to avoid being consumed. And this was what Natsu was counting on.
Being faster than the eye can track, Natsu was more than quick enough to get a good hit in up close.
A perfect opportunity to use a fast, deadly elemental weapon Ace's body wasn't immune to. Lightning.
It's not like Natsu was gonna run out of magic or anything. I mean, there's freaking fire everywhere.
Yeah.
As his speed, strength, martial arts, and versatility surpassed Ace, all Natsu needed was one good shot, and he made it happen.
In the end, Natsu was too hot for Ace to handle.
The winner is Natsu Dragneel.
Alrighty, and here's the battle I decided to put at the end, guys. It's Power Rangers versus Voltron. I thought that would be, I don't know, it seemed, out of the 5, these are the 5 here. It seemed like the one that, if Death Battles was releasing these in groups of 5 as you'd be like 5 was a season or whatever. I feel like, this works as a good opener. This is a good middle. Followed by another good one. And then you end on the big mecha robot fight. A 5v5 team fight. Anyway, that being said, I'm going with Power Rangers. I don't remember if I've ever actually watched Voltron. I know what it is. Don't know if I've watched it. But, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I fucking love those guys. They were great. So, I'm hoping they win. Because I'm assuming that's who they're using for this fight is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We're going to skip this. We've seen it. Yeah, it's the exact same thing as last time. I'm trying to eat them and shit.
It's finally time for one of the biggest matchups in Death Battle history.
Yeah, the giant robot fight of all giant robot fights.
The Megazord, the heavy-hitting mech commanded by 5 Power Rangers.
And Voltron, the defender of the universe, piloted by 5 paladins.
For this matchup, there will be no Dragon Zords, no Galaxy Garrisons, no Robot Brachiosaurus, and no mice.
Just a good old 5v5 war of the giant robots. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
See, just listen to, how they were just describing that. You know what I mean? To me, that felt like the description of, a final fight. You know what I mean? This is, this is a big finish that we're ending things on. 5v5, no add-ons, Anyways, while I'm here, I just realized this is, perfect. Use that as a thumbnail, as long as I hope I can use that, It's gotta be under 200 megabytes or whatever the fuck, but hopefully. Anyways, let's get into it. Fine, I wonder if who they're gonna start with. Does it say down here? Of course not. I'm hoping they start with Power Rangers.
Since the dawn of time, good has battled the forces of evil.
Power
The
Rangers.
vicious witch Rita Repulsa and her giant monsters waged war with the good-natured galactic sage Zordon.
Their 2,000-year war finally ended when Rita zapped him into a time warp, but not before Zordon managed to lock her up in a space dumpster?
Yes, apparently that thing is a space dumpster, or to put more accurately, a galactic recycling bin. However, Zordon knew it was only a matter of time before Rita escaped to conquer Earth once more.
Good thing Zordon had thousands of years to come up with a foolproof plan. He could summon the 5 greatest warriors from around the galaxy to defend the planet.
Or he could summon 5 fucking teenagers.
Teleport to us 5 overbearing and over-emotional humans.
No! Not that! Not teenagers!
That plan is asinine, but somehow it worked.
Yeah.
Zordon granted 5 teenagers the ability to draw power from a dimension called the Morphin Grid.
Like, bro, it should not have worked, but it did.
This molecular transmutation turns them into superhumans with access to mighty mechanical beasts called Zords, becoming the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Of course they had to cut this. Of course that got copyrighted, all the shit. Oh, we can enjoy the footage. Oh, it's still cut out. They're gonna... Man, they won't tell me what they're saying. Alright, Red Ranger. Full name Jason Lee Scott. Birthday October 20th. His Zord is the Tyrannosaurus. The Megazord, his role in the Megazord is the pilot. Trained in Kempo, Taekwondo, Shinkido, and Judo. Once benched. Once benched 3,000 reps in a single day, became a World Peace Ambassador, and enjoys sushi. Billy, the Blue Ranger. Full name Billy Cranston. Birthday April 1st. His Zoid is the Triceratops, the best one. His role is the technician. And once invented a body switching machine. Built the Rad Bug, which can go from 0 to 3,000 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. Member of 6 different school clubs and enjoys reading. Yeah, I enjoy reading too. Good on you, Billy. I knew there was a reason I liked the Blue Ranger. Yeah. Watch the footage, I guess. They can't tell you, but you can see some of the stuff the Zords can do and stuff. Full name Trini Kwan. Birthday August 9th. Sabertooth Tiger. Oh, she's the technician. Okay. Used to be afraid of heights. Also became a World Peace Ambassador. Favorite superhero is Wonder Woman. Not a bad choice. Enjoys extra spicy chili dogs. I don't know about extra spicy, but I enjoy a good chili dog every now and then. I go to the drive-in, that's what I get. Chili cheese dog or just chili dog. Fucking good, man. Oh. Pink Ranger. Full name Kimberly Ann Hart. Birthday February 14th. Pterodactyl Zord. Communications. Fluent in American Sign Language. Is a world-class gymnast. Enjoys Tommy Oliver. And too much pink energy is dangerous. Zordon 1880. And of course, Zack, the Black Ranger, who just happened to be the black guy. Not exactly the most progressive thing, but it is what it is. Full name Zachary Taylor. Birthday May 3rd. Zord is the Mastodon, is the weapons specialist. Created the hip-hop keto martial art. Yeah. Is missing his left middle finger. Yeah. The actual actor is missing from an accident, is missing the finger or whatever. So it's an actual part of this guy's fucking story and shit. Well, I don't know if it's part of his story, but it's a canonical fact about him. They don't pretend he has the finger still. Also became a World Peace Ambassador. That's 3 of them. 3 of them became World Peace Ambassadors and enjoys dancing. Hey, we got sound again.
Yep, this guy fights aliens with the power of dance, along with his Mastodon Zord. Although slow, this Zord can freeze blast enemies with ice, or saran wrap if you're short on budget.
But when 5 giant mechanical beasts aren't enough to keep the villains down, these machines join together to...
For just the coolest friggin' thing you've ever seen in your life!
Hell yeah.
Bring them together!
This is the Megazord.
Hell yeah. 333 feet tall. 172,000 pounds. Solar powered with a cranial laser and a tank mode. Equipped with the Mastodon shield which can reflect most energy projectiles, and the power sword which has killed 18 giant monsters. It's the goddamn Megazord.
A 333-foot colossus with enough power to effortlessly tear down buildings, sometimes unintentionally. All 5 Rangers pilot the Megazord as one, combining their own martial arts skills to defeat giant monsters.
It's like a giant rock'em sock'em robot with laser beams. It can fry enemies with its cranial laser, blast fireballs from its hands, shoot immobilizing beams from its eyes, and even use the Mastodon's face as a shield. And when it's time to send someone to an early grave, they summon their Blade Ex Machina, the Power Sword.
Little known fact, simply touching the Power Sword can recharge the Megazord if it's low on power.
It's not just a battery. This giant sword is over 100 feet long and orbits the Earth when not in use. Plus, it can launch energy waves and cut down almost any monster with just one swing.
And there's even more. It's a surprisingly versatile weapon, like with this feature they implemented against the Nasty Knights.
Any energy we throw at him, he just reflects back at us. That's why our weapons are burned out.
So what do we do about it?
Reflect his energy back at him, along with a bit of our own.
I don't get it.
Apparently, the Power Sword can absorb oncoming kinetic energy and turn it against the attacker, drastically increasing the Megazord's striking power.
Well, after pummeling monsters every weekday afternoon, the Power Rangers have been through almost everything. From fighting a world-destroying dragon to a giant walking pumpkin who raps.
Ooh, you Rangers make me mad! Waking me up with a rap that bad!
God, the 80s and 90s were fucking wild.
They've even fought Kimberly's purse.
Man, these villains were getting desperate. And so were the writers.
Anyway, the Megazord is strong enough to lift and throw the 170-ton Dragon Zord into a mountain with little effort.
So long, Gay Bowser!
Even the individual Zords can support the weight of whole monsters on their own. While many of these monsters should weigh similar to the Megazord, some certainly weigh even more. In fact, in a general scale, when you double the size of an object, its weight increases by a factor of 8. Comparing these organic monsters to human beings means some of them could weigh as much as 10,000 tons.
And the Megazord even gut-punched one of them over 100 feet into the air.
Assuming that monster is 10,000 tons, lifting it 133 feet would require about 90 million newtons of force.
Damn.
50 times as much force as a space shuttle's launching thrust.
That kind of strength, I bet you could backhand a person into outer space.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah.
Strange, wasn't it? Regardless, they've used that strength to take down countless monsters capable of wiping out all life on Earth. They even went toe-to-toe with Cyclopsis, a Warzord designed to conquer entire worlds.
But even for the Power Rangers, defending the Earth is no small job. When they least expect it, the Megazord's energy supply can be quickly exhausted in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that half the reason is because they just get hit so damn much.
Fucking
Despite the Megazord's awesome power, it's really lacking in the whole maneuverability department. I mean, come on! It can at least try to avoid an attack.
But when the enemy hits hard, the Power Rangers hit back even harder. With the fate of the world lying in their hands, no one can ever take them down.
Bring him down!
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend.
In less cryptic terms, 1,200 years ago, the evil Drool Empire nearly conquered the entire known universe. But not everybody was cool with fleets of ships shooting up their planets, so a team of scientists and magic priests decided to fight back.
Through the marriage of magic and technology, they forged a 300-foot-tall living automaton, so powerful that it single-handedly pushed back the Empire's onslaught.
Damn.
Before long, the whole universe had heard of the mechanical knight known as Voltron.
Pissed that he was losing everything because of some space robot, the Empire's King Zarkon ordered a space witch to kill Voltron with a magic space spell. And it kinda worked. Instead of being destroyed, Voltron was split up into 5 very merchandisable robot lions.
Divided and stripped of its sentience, the universe's best hope had fallen.
Until 5 space explorers crash-landed on Eris, the exact same planet the lions just so happened to be hiding on. Destiny or some crap led them to the castle where the Princess Allura gave them a life-changing opportunity. Pilot the long-lost lions and go around saving the universe for a living.
Keith Cogain is the head of the Lion Force in more.
Black Lion. Keith Akira Cogain, age 30, home planet Earth, head and body of Voltron, leader of the Voltron Lion Force, earned the Solar Cross Medal of Bravery, and best pilot in the Galaxy Alliance.
More ways than one. As leader of the team, he commands his cohorts, and he pilots the Black Lion, the literal head of Voltron.
Lance McClane is
Red Lion, full name Lance Charles McCain. Age 27, home planet Earth, right arm of Voltron, brash but brave, nearly expelled from Space Explorer Academy for his temper.
the Han Solo of the group. This hot-headed show-off controls the Red Lion, which forms Voltron's right arm.
Tsuyoshi Garrett.
Yellow Lion, full name Tsuyoshi Hunk Garrett. Age 27, home planet Earth, left leg of Voltron, bent prison bars with his bare hands, demolitions expert, and is constantly hungry.
Better known as Hunk, is the muscle of the team. He pilots the Yellow Lion, which forms Voltron's left leg.
The Blue Lion is piloted by Sven Holgersson. He did. The Blue Lion is piloted by
Princess Allura. Age 25, home planet Aris, right leg of Voltron, princess of the planet Aris, required little training, and communicates with mice apparently.
Princess Allura herself, taking over after the original pilot got a bad case of stabbing. Her lion forms Voltron's right leg.
Last up is
Pidge, the Green Lion, full name Daryl Pidge Stoker, age 24, home planet Balto, left arm of Voltron, trained in Techno Ninjutsu, expert engineer and saboteur, the youngest Space Explorer Academy graduate ever, and is absolutely fucking crazy.
Daryl Stoker. You can call him Pidge. Pidge pilots the Green Lion, Voltron's left arm.
And he's also, well, a little unhinged.
Pidge! Get rid of that grenade!
Bro,
at least
throw
his
that
outfit
shit.
matches his lion's color.
Grenade!
At least his outfit matches his lion's colors. I mean, damn, it's not that hard, people.
And when all 5 lions combine, Voltron lives again.
Activate Mega Thrusters! Form feet and legs, form arms and body, and I'll form the head.
You ever think about how the pilots stay in the heads of the lions when they're fighting? That has to be, like, ridiculously nauseating.
Oh, undoubtedly. That's probably why they usually travel by flight and prefer long-range combat over hand-to-hand.
Speaking of which, Voltron got busy fighting Zarkon's giant roe beasts and saving the universe with a huge assortment of weapons. Voltron can shoot stingray missiles.
Height 300 feet, weight 5,500 tons, powered by the elements and the sun. Stingray missiles, lion torches, spinning laser blades, electro force cross, and blazing sword.
And even pillars of flame out of its hands and feet, or blast the lion heads off like rockets. It can stun enemies with ion dart lasers from its head, or use the electro force cross attack from its chest.
On Keith's command, the Lion Force can manifest Voltron's most powerful weapons out of thin air. Everything from spinning laser blades to javelins to nunchucks.
But the real showstopper is the almighty blazing sword.
Form Blazing Sword.
With this blade, Voltron can slice through most Robies like Jello and dish out the Starfire attack, which splits Robies apart and also makes a friggin' tornado for good measure.
The Blazing Sword can also conduct electricity to recharge Voltron itself.
Why are all these swords also batteries?
The Blazing Sword is enormously powerful, capable of destroying a satellite hundreds of times larger than Voltron. Voltron himself is powerful enough to melt meteors, kick giant machines sky high, and tank explosions the size of countries.
The Voltron Lions have even traveled between galaxies in less than a day, making them several times faster than the speed of light.
Voltron has also survived landing on the Omega Comet, which is so dense it possesses the gravitational force of a black hole.
Okay, that all sounds insane, but even giant robot man lions have their limits, like getting ganged up on by multiple Robies at once, or getting stabbed and sliced open. But black hole levels of gravity? That's a cakewalk, right?
Voltron may be strong, but it lacks the finesse and skill of one trained in martial arts. Voltron also carries a shocking design flaw. If the release plates on its joints are struck in combat, it could jettison an entire limb from the core body.
Wait. You're telling me that if I kick Voltron, freaking Voltron, in the shins hard enough, he'll just lose a leg and it'll just pop right off?
Essentially, yes, though it has only happened in training. Even so, whether the Lion Force is up against a technical issue or a colossal Robeast, the universe can always depend on Voltron. All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, all this talk of robots is making me hungry. So let's fix that. Now, I'm a man who likes a good home.
Scanners on, team. Seems the prehistoric activity originates here.
Finally! If I don't see a dinosaur today, I'm blaming you.
Quiet, Les. I'm picking up something.
Power Rangers! Hello! We need dinosaur power now!
Huh? What's happening?
I think I found the dinosaurs.
All right, Rangers, plug on!
Zach here. This is Kickin'.
This is Billy. All systems go.
Trini reporting, ready to rock. I love this part. Let's tame these kittens.
For Voltron! Form feet and legs. Form arms and body. And I'll form the head.
Megazord battle mode!
Form spinning laser blades.
We need the power sword now!
God, stay down.
Get him,
Let's show 'em
guys.
how it's done. Yeah! It's a sword.
Seriously. Form blazing sword.
Isn't this usually the part where we win?
Yeah. on. Yeah, come on.
Wait, the sword!
Come on, guys. Yeah.
Dixon, look! He's wide open!
Pitch! No! Alright, guys, let's finish it!
We need to move!
Oh shit.
Give him covering fire!
With what?
Everything!
What the shit? This is awesome. But they're about to lose.
Quick! Redirect the energy!
It's too much!
My childhood. Oh man, that was awesome.
KO! Now that's what I call a battle!
There's a good reason why Voltron is the defender of the universe. While the Megazord boasted excellent abilities in hand-to-hand and sword combat, Voltron couldn't go down so easily.
Voltron's huge arsenal put it ahead, especially in long range. Even when the Megazord could get in close, it couldn't keep up with Voltron's blazing speed. I mean, Voltron travels between galaxies in a matter of hours, and it can fly.
The Megazord once punched a monster weighing at most 10,000 tons 133 feet into the air. In contrast, Voltron kicked a 3,900-ton mutated bulldozer nearly 1,900 feet up. Despite Voltron's monster weighing less than the Megazord's, this is still a more impressive feat. Comparing weight and distance traveled for both feats, Voltron's requires at least 5.5 times more strength.
Plus, Voltron clearly had the superior durability, especially with that black hole comet feat.
The Omega Comet's pull could destroy entire planets within 62 miles of itself, which means the comet could output forces of over 13 sextillion newtons.
The Megazord couldn't survive anything close to that level of power. We can prove it. Later in Power Rangers history, they upgraded their mech to the Thunder Megazord, which is specifically stated to be more powerful than the original Megazord in every way.
The new Zords will serve you well.
Once mastered, your Zords will reveal even greater powers.
When this new Megazord fought against a giant Zord called Serpentera, which at full power could destroy planets, a single blast from it easily tore the Thunder Megazord apart. And that blast didn't even use half of Serpentera's power.
Voltron outclassed the Megazord in almost every way that counted, including strength, speed, and durability. Trust me, I'm not lying.
The winner is Voltron.
Damn.
Don't go.
Well, you heard him. Winner was Voltron. Anyways, those were some good battles, you know? Started with a fight between treasure hunters. Actually, two fights between treasure hunters. You know, some super villains. An anime fight, followed by, you know, a childhood fight of fucking giant mecha robots. It sucks that fucking Power Rangers lost, man. I'm actually pretty bummed. You know, it was still a great fight though. God damn, that was awesome. Yeah. So that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. You know, like, subscribe, give Death Battle their some love. You know, they deserve it. Like I said, you know, those were some great battles. I'll see you guys next time. You know, whenever I get around to having some time to record and stuff. Enjoy, you know, the rest of your day, night, whatever. Whenever you decide to watch this. Peace out.